Hi, Jerome.
Hi, Eileen. How are you? How you been?
I've been good. Thank you so much. Hope everything is well for you too. And thank you so much for joining the interview with us today. Yeah. And I just wanted to introduce to everyone. Jerome, we have met during 2017. He was my client from a hotel, and we talk about how to sell the hotel's rooms. And I was fresh still about revenue management and how to bring up the sales of a hotel. So although I have background in hospitality management, but revenue part, I'm just very fresh. And he has been a great mentor, a brother, um, like a seafood to me. So it's we always have a good time
The
talking
gray
about.
hair. I'm gonna
I
grow
have,
the
oh,
mustache too.
yes, yeah. And it's very enjoyable to have any kind of chat when we meet. So um, I would like to have lots of questions for you today. Um, yes, and just kindly wanted to ask. I know you with the hotel industry has been very, very long. Um, can you kind of just explain which area of the United States you have been working?
hmm Well, first and foremost, I want to say uh, when I first met Eileen, sidetrack a little bit, okay? When I first met Eileen, I dealt with several market managers, managers that are too pushy, managers, account managers that are pushover. Eileen was a breath of fresh air. Don't don't look at her small demeanor fool you. She is one smart cookie. And I truly enjoy working with you. You're and sharing my knowledge with you, and you sharing your knowledge back to me is such a treasure. Going back to your question, going back on track, I've been in this industry for about 20 years. As a matter of fact, I started off as a valet driver at the Four Seasons Olympic up in Seattle. Ever since I ever since that hotel, I got the bug. And I told myself, I cannot be doing bellman for the rest of my life because hey, don't get me wrong, the money was bloody good. But eventually I'm gonna get old. I won't be able to carry the bags. I won't be able to talk that much no more. As the saying goes, I won't be able to hustle for my money. That's the reason why I decided to move into to do some office work. Fortunately, my reservation manager back then um, took the chance in me to educate me about revenue management. Revenue management 20 years ago is so simple. It just open, close. And I mind you, this was in Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley, for most people you that are not quite familiar, Silicon Valley is the mecca of technology, which means we get a lot of business clientele. That's the first time I've seen or I have ever experienced working for a business clientele hotel. Business compared to a leisure, let's say Hawaii, which I had experience in Hawaii, Las Vegas, Santa Barbara are completely different animal because they are so leisure driven, which means for a corporate hotel like Silicon Valley Hotel, it's Monday through Thursday, maybe a little bit on Sunday. You will peak your business on Tuesday and Wednesday, and you could drive big money when both convention and business collide. Leisure, on the other hand, you're dropping your rate immensely on Monday through Thursday, but you're increasing your rate Friday, Saturday, Sunday. A good example is Las Vegas. Las Vegas, you'll be shocked. I work at a hotel in Las Vegas where the rate on Monday through Thursday ranges from 29 bucks, 39 bucks, $49. Comes Friday and Saturday and Sunday, skyrocket to $400 a night. Okay. You're literally giving away the rooms on Friday, Monday to Thursday. Now, let's reverse that a little bit. Let's look at Hawaii. Hawaii, because it's a major destination for leisure, it's the rate is pretty much stagnant 7 days a week. The only time it would change is based on seasonality. The hotel I work in Hawaii, we only have 3 bar rate. For most people, you're asking what's bar? That's your best available rate that you're selling. Hotels like in Silicon Valley, I would have 15, 20, 30 bars that I'm playing with. But in Hawaii, I only have 3 because it's low season, mid season, then high season. When you hit high season, you could ask for heaven and earth. Um, Now, San Francisco is a unique beast. It's not much a corporate and corporate hotel unless you are in the district or financial district. But if you're, let's say, at the um, Union Square area, it's a hit or miss. For the most part, you get convention attendee, a little leisure, a little very, very little business. So in San Francisco, it's contingent upon what's happening at the convention center. When there is a convention center, when there's a convention happening in San Francisco, a good example was Super Bowl 50. My hotel back then was selling as high as $400 normal. But when Super Bowl hit, I was charging $1,000 each night for a box. So why am I saying this? The dynamic of revenue management changes from location to location to location. As a director of revenue or revenue manager, our key initiative is to be able to decipher how do we find a niche. Do not try and put a square peg on a round hole if it doesn't fit. That is key in revenue management, but try and find your niche and the gap in the market. Sorry for a long-winded answer.
No, that was perfect. It was very nice to hear like what is revenue in hotel, and I think it was a good reminder, and I think everyone who's watching this video, thinking about going into revenue is learning as well.
Well,
So
by the way, keep in mind, viewers, there's the revenue managers in the hotel industry, which is where the tactician, where the analyst, where the one who pulled the trigger, had the angels and demon on our shoulders trying to figure out what's the next move. But there's also a revenue manager in the accounting field. It's almost identical because they're also analyzing the same data, but they are more accounting driven rather than strategy driven. But most revenue managers like myself, I know how to read P&L and financial and be able to analyze financially for the financial stability of the organization.
thank you, Jerome. Yes, so to our next question. So is there, I believe each hotel that you've worked with has a different memories. If you were to pick one, was there a hotel that you will, if have the opportunity, you will want to go back to work?
Well, there is one hotel that is really close and dear to my heart. Actually, two. One is Stanford Park in near Stanford University. That was my very, very, very first hotel that I worked at. That is a 4.5 star and higher, because the type of clientele that you get, I hate to use the word riffraff. You're not gonna get riffraffs, which means you're not gonna get people that would gonna trash your room, the ones gonna complain left and right, and they're paying very little or not even enough to make a profit, right? That was my very first experience working for a luxury hotel. Not to mention, I learned so much. I learned so much from it. As a matter of fact, that was the very first hotel that I signed up with OTA, or online travel agency. I still remember, still vivid in my mind, my general manager. His name is Jonathan Farrington. I marched to his office and I said, "Hey, boss, you need to sign this contract." He looked at me and said, "Jerome, I feel like I'm signing a contract with the devil." Okay. uh, Fast forward 5 years, 5 years later, everybody's using OTA. Look at San Francisco. San Francisco, I hate to use the term, is addicted to the OTA segment. Okay. When the OTA first showed up, they said it's the end of travel agency. Travel agency did not end. It evolved, but OTA became its own segment. It became so robust that even OTA partners like yourself have changed the way you do business. I remember the first time I dealt with an OTA partner, I was sold out. And I called them. I'm not gonna mention name, but said, "Hey buddy, we're sold out. We're oversold. Oh, you have to deal with it. I'm not gonna close you out. You just need to keep on taking those reservations." So back then, they're not partners. Now OTAs like yourself became partners, because what good does it do to you as an OTA if we ended up walking your client? Okay. Sorry for if I'm getting segued to another subject matter. The second hotel that I truly like, that I truly enjoy, is the Portola Hotel and Spa in Monterey. It's very close to my heart, because not that I learned so much from it, but it's the people around me. From managers to line employee, they they appreciate all the effort that I put into that hotel. And until now, every time my wife and I go visit the hotel for the weekend, and we go to the restaurant for brunch, the servers will come over to our table and greet us, say, "Hi, how are you? How you been? I still remember the promotion that you did for us." It is truly a special place in my heart.
Thank you for sharing. Was
Mhm.
so for the first hotel in the Stanford, were you working as a revenue manager already by then?
Mhm.
Okay.
I Well, my title was revenue manager,
Mhm.
um, but I was still managing the reservation department. The funny story was when I first attended a pre-con, a meeting with a group. I noticed that on my title, my boss changed it from revenue manager to reservation manager, and I asked him why. Well, Jerome, when they see the title revenue, the first thing they think is you're the one who gouged them on the rate. But if you change the title to reservation, you become more friendlier.
But that's a very interesting side note to know.
I know.
Yeah. Thank you. Um, so next, I think everyone will like to hear is like, we always encounter with a different kind of guests. Um, out of all your experience, what was the most memorable, best guest that you have encountered with? And then the worst guest you have encountered with that haunts you whenever you think about it.
Okay. Um, Stanford Park, perfect example. I had a guest called my department frantically. Her name is Mrs. Hutchison. I She called because uh, her son's wedding is coming up in less than 4 weeks. And she's like, "Oh my God, the sky's falling, the sky's falling. We haven't have a handle of the rooming list, the whole shebang, the room assignment, and whatnot." So I stepped in and I said, "Miss Hutchison, calm down. I'll take care of you so that you are at ease between now until your group arrives. We will have a conference call, you and I, to discuss what's happening with your block. If not only that the rooming list has been processed, but also the room assignment. For example, have you ever had an uncle that you want to stay away from? Okay, that uncle was at the end of the hallway. This cousin of mine, I love her so much. I love her to death. I want her to be in a connecting room with me. Okay, small things like that. But because planning a wedding is such a chaotic experience, because compared to a business meeting, you have multiple chance to correct it because it's a business meeting. It happened over and over again. A social function, a quinceañera, a debut, a wedding, a 50th anniversary. Those things doesn't happen all the time. How many people get married? How many times people get married rather? One, two, three, four, 5 times. If you got married 5 times, there's something wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? But goal is your mindset is the wedding should be perfect. That's why the pressure when people are planning wedding are so high. So make a long story short, the rooming list, the group was immaculately perfect. Even to the point that when Miss Hutchison showed up, all I need to do is give her, here's the rooming list, here's all the keys, have fun. And I thought she stopped. I thought she snubbed me, but she was just busy. It was Friday, so I said, "Oh, I'll let her be, let her do her thing." Left for the weekend, enjoyed my weekend, then came back to work Monday. At 9 o'clock in the morning, the front office manager called me and said, "Hey, Miss Hutchison is looking for you." So I went to the lobby to see her, and she gave me a big hug. And she said, "I could have not done it without you." And she pulled out an envelope. And I said, "Miss Hutchison, no, no, I cannot accept this." And she said, "I'll be angry at you if you don't accept this." Fine. Um, she thanked me, and I said, "Well, thank you for your business as well. Hopefully, in the anniversary, we will see you again." When she left, she gave me $1,000 tip. And mind you, I'm just doing my job. I wasn't there to do, "Hey, I'm gonna go get some tip from this lady." No, my goal is to deliver exceptional service to this individual. That until now vivid in my mind. Now you ask me the most annoying client I ever had. To be honest with you, If I ever considered somebody annoying, I won't be in this business. My general manager at the Stanford Park Hotel, he did an initiative called Yes is the Answer, What is the Question? Which means when a guest comes to you, even before they ask the question or the favor, your answer should always be yes. If it's morally and legally possible to do, the answer is yes. Because we are working at a service industry. It could be a hotel, it could be a McDonald's. At the end of the day, people that is um, signing the check, your check is coming from them. Um, when I first moved to California, one of my first hotels that I worked at as a reservation agent, where I got groomed to become a revenue manager, was the Hilton Sunnyvale. One day, I was so upset with a travel agent, and I was like, "Oh, that's stupid this, that's stupid that." Pat Kuhn, he was my director of sales. Very sharp guy, very sharp guy. He overheard me that I'm getting frustrated with that travel agent. And he tapped me on the shoulder. He said, that travel agent that you're calling stupid is the one paying your check. Ever since then, I never considered a guest difficult because I am there to serve them. And my payoff, one is my paycheck. Number two is the career that I have in the hotel industry.
That's a very great answer. I'll keep that in mind as well.
Thank you. Sorry for a long-winded answer. You
Oh,
know
no,
me.
no, no,
I cannot
no,
settle for just like yes or no.
no, of course. This is a great answer. Uh, so how I will have to shoot this question, but how has pandemic affected you? Um,
Yes. Uh, I would say this had been a nightmare because I wasn't really expecting it because my trajectory at the previous company was just to move up, um, especially within my performance within that company was impeccable. But I'm a half full kind of person. Um, Back in July of last year, I got laid off because of the pandemic. And ever since, I've been hustling, a few hustle there, a few consulting gig here. But for the most part, I've been trying to educate myself. Like I said, I'm a half full kind of person. Um, the way I look at it is that I am going to take this opportunity to become a sponge. That when the pandemic ends, that I would have learned or earn rather three new skill sets. Uh, not most recently, last September, I got my SQL training. Um, I just re-upped my what do you call this? My CPR card. I am taking some classes in the medical field just in case, because my wife works at the medical industry, and she always bragged, "Well, we're always safe no matter what. Recession proof. Everybody, people are gonna get sick." Uh, but also found out I have a lot of time in my hand. Did a lot of research. Becoming a Salesforce administrator could cost you zero to nothing costs to get that certification, to get the education, to learn how to use it. You just need to put a lot of elbow grease to learn all that stuff and then take the exam. So yeah, it's been a long long winding road for about almost a year now, a year next month of this pandemic. But I tried to stay focused, stay strong, stay positive, and learn new things.
Thank you very much. I think it's something that we all can relate to, and it's always good to be half glass full, that kind of
Mhm,
mindset, and be a sponge to keep absorbing new knowledge.
mhm,
Mm,
absolutely.
yeah. As with the all the experience you had as revenue um, director, um, from your experience, what would you say for our travel industry in US, the recovery time? They are saying 2024, um, with the vaccine
It,
coming in and all that. Just a
it,
rough.
it's really tough to say because we are on uncharted territory right now
Mm,
regarding this COVID. This all of us is the first time we're experiencing a pandemic. Um, maybe some people back in the 1980 pandemic, um, the Spanish flu, might be able to relate, but honestly, all of us are completely new to this. Uh, my philosophy is hope for the best, expect the worst, but hope for the best. Uh, but based on a lot of the readings that I've seen regarding projections and whatnot in the hospitality industry, um, it's going to be somewhere between 2 to 3 years. I've done some consulting in terms of revenue management. Here's a good barometer. Okay, pre-pandemic, the rate of an average hotel within the peninsula was charging or have an ADR 200, a low $200. After pandemic, not pandemic, in within the pandemic, the ADR have plummeted to 110. So about 45% drop in rate. Some hotels are still doing good in terms of occupancy. When I say good, anything above 40%, 50% is good. There's some hotels out there that are struggling within what, 20%. So the road to recovery might be a bit bleak, but um, as hoteliers, as dorms, as a director of sales that have been given the task to generate revenue and profitability for the hotel, my only comment is that as revenue generating position should be agile, mobile in terms of generating or capturing segmentation. Earlier, before we started the call, we were talking about gaps in the market. Uh, we need to find that gap. A good example of that gap that that it initiated long time ago that a lot of people are have exploited now are the OTA. Like I said a while ago, my general manager back in 2005 when I gave him the contract to Expedia, he was hesitant to sign the contract with Expedia. But now Expedia is its own segment, so we need to adapt. We need to adapt. Um, we need to be able to do a lot of experimentation. And mind you, revenue management is not going to be the same old revenue management. As a matter of fact, earlier I mentioned to you, revenue management as a whole has been impacted with technology from its infancy. That it just got out of the gate and revenue management's already making adjustment to the changes on the buying pattern of the consumer. So we need to find what's that the buying habit of the consumer. What niche can we capture? But buyer beware, be price conscious. We won't be able to drive rate immediately. It'll take time. It could be we might get herd immunity in the US, but what about the rest of the world? Travel is not just United States. I mean, we've seen it, especially with your market. We need Japan, Asia to be able to have the same. So herd immunity for the whole world. I hate to sound political here, but with the Biden's uh, acceptance or re-entry to the World Health Organization, it would help deviate that issue of um, getting herd immunity for the whole world. Again, we cannot just do it all by ourselves. We need the other country to have the same herd immunity.
Thank you. I think I've learned a lot. I'm glad I did this interview, and it's been very long since the last time we catch up on the street in San Francisco.
I know, I know.
Yeah. Um, okay. Off. We take a break from talking about revenue and hotel. Kind of want to, kind of want to ask, what's your hobby that you enjoy to take things out from your mind that you enjoy to do?
Well, if you ask me like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I'll tell you I love to go play video game. But I realized as you get older, your interest, your attention span on video game became, heh. Lately, I've been doing a lot of cooking. Uh, thank God for YouTube. Thank God for Facebook. And when you say, oh, I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know that it's that easy. Couple months ago, I made some German schnitzel with with mashed potato and gravy. My son was stopped by to say hi, and his girlfriend is vegetarian, so I made a zucchini schnitzel. My I never had that much compliment from my cooking, especially from a. It's the first time for me to really cater to a vegetarian audience, and she loved it. My stepson, he tried the schnitzel, and right after he finished the plate, he told us that's how you should be cooking every day. uh, my stepson, he's a full-blooded Filipino, but unfortunately, like he doesn't fancy eating a lot of Filipino food. He's a picky eater. As a matter of fact, the way I would describe him is that he likes to eat different kind of food from different kind of country, like chicken tikka masala, some Italian food. I made some caprese salad before. I made some bruschetta. I made some bolognese with meatballs, spaghetti with bolognese and meatball. So our household is like a multinational uh, pool of international dishes. This coming weekend, I'm going to be making, in honor to all my Russian friends and Polish friends, I'll be making beef stroganoff with parpadelle pasta. Then on Sunday, I'll be making chicken marsala to all my Italian friends. But I still need to actually replicate the chicken sandwich you sent me.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait this to be over. So I'm really going over there to try all the dishes. So it will be our last question. Please, once again, thank you so much for your time today, and would love to have like a message from you to our audience who is watching this video, this channel today.
Well, first and foremost, if there's any hotelier, the light at the end of the tunnel might not be that close yet for all of us. What I urge you is, first and foremost, do not feel sorry for yourself. That's the first enemy that you need to surpass. Look at it as an opportunity to redevelop yourself, to become a stronger individual, not only a hotelier, but a stronger individual. The idea of learning Salesforce administration, I learned that from a hotelier that used to be the director of revenue. We actually are part of a group called Hospitality Family on Facebook, which is, by the way, Hospitality Family, the founder or the person who created that group on Facebook is my former director of sales, Sarissa Miller, which at this point has about more than 50 or 60,000 members worldwide. And we're all sharing informations, best practices, or as simple as, I need to vent, right? So I found that in that information from this person saying, hey, I used to be a door. Now I'm making twice as much money as I was making as a door when I became a Salesforce administrator. Like I said, find different ways to surpass this pandemic. Do not just crawl over in the corner and die. To the non-hotelier, the only thing there's a few things I want to say. One is, when this pandemic is over, I encourage you to please support the hotel industry. Go and visit, enjoy, and because there's a lot of families out there that are suffering, that needs you. And also, if you have been affected by this pandemic, stay strong. I'm a firm believer of God will not give you anything that you cannot handle. God gave you this problem because he or she knows you're quite capable of navigating your way around it. So stay strong, stay positive, and do not give up the good fight.
Thank you so much, Jerome, for your warm, caring, and positive message to our audience. And I hope things go well, back on track for you. And I can't wait until next time we catch up. Hopefully it's through like a nice drink and good food.
Hey, what do you call this? I think I'm gonna get the vaccine hopefully by mid-March.
Awesome.
Unfortunately for me, because I am what you might call a high risk, so I might get the vaccine by mid-March, earlier than more common people. So as a matter of fact, my wife already got the vaccine because she works in the hospital industry or healthcare industry. So I'm the only one, and my parents, they already had their vaccine. So they're the ones like tiptoeing around me.
Once again, Jerome, I hope things goes well for you, and it's always been a pleasure to talk with you. Take care and stay safe.
Likewise. Good to see you. And hey, let's keep in touch. You see my Facebook often, so make a comment, make a
Will do.
recommendation.
Will do. Thank you, Jerome. Take care.
Okay,
Bye
thank you, Eileen. Bye
bye.
bye.